interval 7.6.
And it looks like Compton taking a run here at Sprague. Not quite close enough.
This could get a little dicey.
Yeah, man, you don't want to run side by side. Look at Setzer, though. Setzer gets by Compton, and there's Hornaday. Look at Hornaday up the inside.
Hornaday took advantage.
Oh, man.
Big contact. Sprague is the loser in this deal as he spins around.
Man, Ron Hornaday just forced his way through.
Well, what happened also, I think when we go back and see this, Stacy Compton ended up having to get into Hornaday. There were 3 wide. They just didn't have enough room.
And look at the damage on the right front of Dennis Setzer's truck. A lot of tire rub there. There's the 78 truck just come out of the pit lane. He is a lap down, but the right front of Setzer's truck is got a lot of damage. We haven't had a look at it yet, but certainly he's got some tire rub into the left side of Hornaday's truck.
Here we go back to it. You'll see 3 wide here.
And this is a potential problem area. Look at that. Compton gets into the back of Setzer. Setzer, you know, Hornaday's up the inside there, and that is fairly optimistic in that part of the racetrack. But a real big mess there, and poor Jack Sprague ends up being the loser.
Yeah, Setzer gets into, or I should say, Compton gets into Setzer. He gets into Hornaday. Hornaday gets into Sprague. And you said it, Jack's the one who's parked by the side of the road right now trying to fight his way back. Setzer has some damage to that right front. And we'll tell you, Sprague right now, he's running in 22nd position. He is back out on the race course. Ron Fellows is the man at the point. The Granger, 225. Jack Sprague is in trouble. The points leader is pulling behind the wall.
And it's interesting, you look at this truck and you can't see any real big obvious damage. Dennis Setzer's truck, when we looked at it, had a lot more damage. So Jack Sprague must know something that we don't know.
I'm wondering if something got messed up in the gearbox or the bottom end when he went up over the rumble strip. Here's
this is a great look from Dennis Setzer. You see Ron Hornaday up the inside there, and the contact, it starts with Compton, but then Hornaday, and there's Sprague spinning off. And I'm wondering if the rear axle in Sprague's truck hasn't been damaged, because if that truck is that undrivable, he must have major suspension damage.
Let's go to Dave Burns.
Well, from the left side of the truck, guys, there is nothing that we can see, and as you speculated, it must have been internal there. We're looking right now. They've got the left side jacked up. I've not been able to pick up anything on the scanner yet, and of course everyone down here is very busy. We'll update you as soon as we can.
So Jack Sprague right now, our points leader, shown in 28th position. If that holds up, the points lead is going to change. There is the race lead between Ron Fellows and Boris Ed.
And when you look at that, you see Biffle's closing in. Now here's another look, and Hornaday has really forced his way up the inside here. Compton gets into the back of Setzer. Can't really help that. But look at how hard. And actually, when you look at Jack Sprague spinning around there, you can actually see the rear axle move. And I'm wondering if they didn't break a track bar or something that locates that rear axle.
Back to the action out on the race course, coming out of the festival turns. That is Ron Fellows, his last lap at 89 miles an hour, and he is beginning to close in on lap traffic. In fact, that's Kevin Sawinski in front of him. Sawinski is currently running in 30th. As we move back through the field, we're finding a battle. There is Ron Hornaday. He is currently running 5th in front of Stacy Compton in 6th. Terry Cook has moved up to 7th. There's Mike Wallace and Mike Bliss. That is 8th and 9th, and the 98 right behind them is Kevin Harvick. And boy, Wallace got a little tail happy.
Wallace did a great job in qualifying. He drove a very clean lap, a very nice lap. And you can hear in here really very smooth on the throttle as Bliss gets a little loose there. Look at those clouds in the background, boy.
While this goes on, we've just got word from the pits. It could be a burnt clutch in the 24 truck of Jack Sprague. Mike Wallace with Mike Bliss all over him. This is a battle for 8th on the racetrack. Kevin Harvick said it. He's right behind that group. There he is in the Porter Cables Ford. He said it before. He says, I think this is going to be a very physical race. The track's so narrow, and everybody's willing to sort of mix it up. Here comes Bliss on the inside of Wallace into the festival turn.
And Bliss with a great run. And look at him lock that right front. He locks up that right front.
While these guys continue on through the course, we're going back to find Joe Ruttman. Remember, he had an off during qualifying, started all the way back in 32nd. He has moved up to 20th. Look for the 18 Dana Dodge. There he is. He has just gotten around Ron Barfield. Barfield's gone the opposite direction. He's sliding back. Ruttman has 3 road course victories. And he is hustling through the infield portion here.
And poor Joe Ruttman, these guys only had 1 lap to qualify. They had 1 warm-up lap, 1 flying lap, and he got off the road down at the festival curves, and there's just no bouncing back from that, and had the slowest speed, and so had to take that provisional.
But he is leaving Ron Barfield right now as he makes his way down towards the final corner, turn 12. Whoa! Mike Stefanik right in front of him slides off. Our points leader in the USG Rookie of the Year over Scott Hansen and David Starr finds himself slipping a few positions. He is now, was actually in 19th, but he is dropping back.
Well, probably no major damage to Mike Stefanik's truck.
And Mike has slipped all the way back to 23rd as a result of that spin. That's Mylan Garrett in the 85 right behind him. I saw a little smoke there.
Yeah, that's that right front. That's that right front locking up.
Back to our race lead. The duel between the 2 road course specialists, Ron Fellows and Boris Said, on board with Boris.
This is where we just saw Mike Stefanik off the road. This is the last turn, and we expect a lot of action down here this weekend. It's a real fast section of racetrack, and you kind of have to thread the needle through there, and it's very important to get a good run out onto the main straightaway.
What's interesting is we take a look at the Napa Field summary. Next week, Ron Fellows will be running. Oh, and we've got a full course yellow going out. We've got debris on the front straightaway. So that is going to tighten up the field. There is the debris. Oh, look out, guys.
Well, whatever it is, it looks like a little brake duct, probably off Mike Stefanik's truck. It's just a little piece of plastic, but you definitely want to get that off the racetrack.
Biffle was only 4 seconds behind the race leader, so he's going to get to tighten up, but Ron Fellows is going to remain on the point as the yellow comes out here on lap number 15 of 73. It might be a little too early to see some pit stops unless somebody thinks that they can really do some yeoman work under a lot more yellow, but as of right now, I think you'll see everybody pretty much stay out here at round 11 of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Stay with us. We're coming right back.